Welcome to the Minute of Terror channel. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment where you are watching this video from.
Hello, Luke. I want to share a story about my aunt from a long time ago, back when I was just a kid hearing whispers from the elders. It's a terrifying tale, the kind that sends shivers down your spine and makes your heart race, passed down through my family for generations. My Aunt Ellen lived through something no one can explain, something that changed her forever. Ellen, a widow in her 40s, lived alone in an old house surrounded by a neglected garden. Her husband and son, Tommy, died in a car accident years earlier, leaving her trapped in grief. She spent her days in silence, tending to wilted plants, flipping through old photo albums with trembling fingers, avoiding kids on the street. Their laughter was a knife, reminding her of Tommy, who'd be 10 if he were alive. The house, once warm, was now a tomb of memories, with an ancient willow tree in the backyard, untouched, as if it held secrets. One rainy morning, a sound broke the silence. A muffled, eerie child's giggle came from the willow. Ellen thought it was her mind, tormented by loneliness, but the sound grew louder by dusk. Heart pounding, she pulled on a tattered coat and trudged through the muddy yard. The giggling stopped as she neared the tree. But there, among the roots, she found an old leather ball, moss-covered, identical to Tommy's. It felt alive, pulsing with an unnatural chill. Ellen tucked it away, shivering. That night, she dreamed of a child running in the dark, whispering, "Mommy, don't leave me." The giggles returned daily at dusk, like a summons from beyond. Ellen, scared but drawn to it, began to anticipate them. Once, she glimpsed a small shadow among the willow's branches, but found only howling wind when she approached. Desperate, she sought advice from Miss Martha, the local spiritualist. Martha, with grave eyes, suggested leaving an offering to appease whatever it was. Ellen placed an apple and a toy car under the tree. By dawn, they were gone, and the giggle rang louder, now with a mocking edge that chilled her blood. The garden, once a refuge, felt like a gateway to something sinister. Weeks passed, and the giggles turned to guttural whispers. "Play with me. I'm so alone." Ellen, gripped by fear and fascination, spoke to the void, asking who was there. One dusk, under a blood-red sky, a figure appeared beneath the willow, a boy of about 8, tangled blonde hair, tattered clothes from another era. His eyes were black voids, his skin pale as wax. He called himself Lucas, a boy who drowned in a nearby creek decades ago, abandoned by his mother, who fled her grief. His voice was cold, cutting, yet Ellen felt a connection, as if he mirrored her loss. Lucas appeared nightly, emerging from the willow's shadows. Ellen, despite her terror, sat in the garden, sharing memories of Tommy, while Lucas spoke of his short life, of creekside games, and a mother who never returned. He begged Ellen to find his mother, Rose, now an old woman in a distant nursing home. In dreams, Lucas guided her, but the visions were haunting, him drowning, tiny hands clawing the air, and a voice accusing Ellen of abandoning Tommy. Nightmares woke her screaming, blending Tommy's accident with Lucas's death, as if both judged her. Martha warned, "That boy isn't what he seems. He might drag you to his side." Still, Ellen resolved to find Rose, driven by pity and dread. The garden grew oppressive. The willow's shadows seemed to writhe, swallowing light. One night, Ellen found muddy footprints on the porch, too small to be human. The leather ball, kept on her nightstand, reappeared in the garden inexplicably. The air reeked of stagnant water, and whispers now came from inside the house, as if Lucas were invading her space. Ellen feared he didn't seek peace, but vengeance. Ellen traveled to the nursing home, the ball heavy in her pocket. Rose, frail with clouded eyes, recognized it and collapsed, confirming it was Lucas's, lost decades ago. Ellen recounted the encounters, the giggles, the whispers, the plea for forgiveness. Rose confessed she let Lucas play alone by the creek, where he drowned, and fled the house to escape guilt. Ellen admitted her own pain. She hadn't watched Tommy closely, allowing the accident that killed him. The women wept, bound by timeless grief. A freezing gust swept the room, and Lucas materialized, his form distorted, eyes sunken, a twisted grin. He touched Rose, but his words were harsh. "You let me die, Mom." To Ellen, he hissed, "You failed too, like her." Rose begged forgiveness, but Lucas laughed, a sound like shattering glass. He demanded they return to the house, to the willow, to finish what they started. Ellen, terrified, agreed, fearing refusal would bind Lucas to her forever. In the garden, under a starless sky, Lucas danced among the willow's roots, his form flickering between boy and shadow. The ground shook, and voices rose from the earth, accusing Rose and Ellen. Lucas revealed his true intent. Not peace, but punishment. He blamed Rose for his abandonment and Ellen for her guilt, aiming to trap them at the willow, where he ruled. In desperation, Ellen saw a vision of Tommy, not smiling but weeping, begging her to break free. Rose, trembling, faced Lucas, pleading forgiveness. For a moment, his black eyes flickered with humanity. He vanished in a scream, and the willow split, as if releasing something trapped within. After that night, Ellen and Rose survived, but they were never the same. The garden remained cursed. The willow, now dead, seemed haunted, and locals avoided it. Ellen tried to rebuild, planting flowers for Tommy, but the soil refused to bloom. Rose returned to the nursing home, but died months later, whispering Lucas's name. Ellen, alone, heard whispers again, not giggles, but wails, as if the willow held more trapped souls. Years later, Ellen adopted a boy, Gabriel, hoping for redemption. But he feared the garden, refusing to play near the willow, claiming he saw a blond boy staring from there. Ellen burned the leather ball, but its ashes reappeared at her door. My family told this story with dread, saying Ellen never escaped Lucas. When she died, years later, the house was abandoned. They say, on moonless nights, the willow whispers, and passers-by hear giggles mixed with screams. My aunt learned too late that some spirits don't seek peace, but vengeance, and guilt can open doors that never close. Hello, Luke. When I was a kid, my dad used to tell us scary stories. But this one he swore was true. It wasn't a campfire tale, nor a village legend. It was something he claimed to have witnessed himself. He spoke of Mariana, a neighbor who lived a short distance from our home, in an old wooden house surrounded by tall grass that the wind made whisper. Mariana had lost her daughter, Anna, in a stupid accident. The girl tripped in the yard, fell badly near the road, and didn't survive. She was only 6. My dad said he had never seen grief so silent. Mariana didn't cry in front of anyone, but walked like her body was just an empty shell. In her yard, there was a dry stone well, and used for decades. Deep, narrow, and smelling of damp earth. At night, when the wind blew harder, people said the well seemed to breathe. A few weeks after Anna's burial, Mariana heard crying coming from inside. Not echoes, not animals. A child sobbing, broken, pleading for her mom. She leaned over the dark mouth of the well and swore she heard it clearly. "Mommy, come down with me." No one believed her at first. They thought it was grief twisting her mind. Until she found something impossible. A child's shoe, identical to Anna's, lying at the bottom. From then on, she visited the well every night, drawn to it. My dad said he would see the faint glow of her lantern swaying in the dark, and hear her murmuring as if answering someone. Then came the apparition. Mariana claimed she saw a ghostly girl, identical to Anna, rise from between the stones. But her eyes were wrong, deep like wells inside a well, glowing faintly cold. She didn't ask for hugs or warmth. She demanded only one thing, that Mariana come down with her. From that moment, Mariana changed. She abandoned everything and lived only for the well. My dad saw her standing motionless for hours by the stone mouth, as if waiting for permission to jump. The neighbors worried. They said she was losing her mind, that she needed help. But nobody dared approach her land at night, because they swore they heard scratching. Yes, scratching on the stone, like small fingernails desperately trying to climb out. One night, my dad hid nearby and watched. Mariana whispered things like, "I'm here, tell me how I'll go." Then came a sound that froze him, a child's laugh. Not joyful, but empty, cruel. Days later, Mariana tied a rope and tried to climb down. Men from a village pulled her out by force. She said she had seen the bottom open like a doorway and many voices calling in unison. They researched the property and learned the well had a dark past. Long ago, during colonization, native children had been thrown inside and left to die. The well never gave water again. It gave only echoes of despair. My dad believed it wasn't Anna calling. It was something far older. Then the animals began to die. First chickens, then dogs. Always found near the well, untouched, but with wide open eyes, frozen in terror. Mariana insisted she had to go down. She claimed Anna's soul was trapped, suffering. Each night, the voice grew louder, closer, more demanding. The neighbors tried sealing the well with heavy planks. The next night, they were shattered and scattered. That night, my dad saw it. A thin, translucent childlike figure sitting on the edge of the well. It didn't move like a child should. Its head hung to one side, its glowing eyes fixed straight at the window. My dad said he had never felt such cold. Mariana burst from her house, arms open, running toward it. But the girl leaned back, her body dropping into the darkness, inviting her mother to follow. My dad and others held her back. She fought them like a wild animal, screaming that she had to go. Act 4, the end and the legacy. That night, they set fire to the well's mouth. They poured kerosene, burned the wood, raised a crude cross. The smoke mixed with the smell of wet earth. But my dad swore he heard voices within the flames. Many children screaming, not in fear, but in rage. And within them all, Anna's laugh. Months later, Mariana disappeared. Some say she ran away. Others, that she finally obeyed the call. Her house was abandoned, swallowed by weeds. The well remains there, hidden under rubble and roots. But my dad always warned me, nothing buried like that stays silent forever. And if someday you walk near that place and hear a child's voice calling your name, don't answer. Because it's not a child. It never was. It's the well. And the well always wants someone else to come down.